The moment she locked eyes with him through those cold shelter bars, something inside her shattered and healed at the exact same time. She'd walked into that Tennessee animal shelter on a rainy Thursday with no intention of adopting, just volunteering. But then she saw him, a gray and black striped tabby in cage 7, those piercing blue-green eyes locked on hers like he'd been waiting his entire life for this moment. "That's Jasper," the shelter worker said softly. 8 months here. People walk right past him every day. 8 months. The number hit her like a truck. He only responds to one specific type of person. And honestly, we've been waiting for someone exactly like you. Now, if you're watching this and haven't subscribed yet, you're missing stories that prove miracles happen in unexpected places. She stepped closer. Jasper didn't move, didn't flinch, just kept those hypnotic eyes locked on hers. His gray and black stripes seemed to shimmer under the harsh shelter lights, each marking telling a story she desperately wanted to know. Most shelter cats would either hide in the back corner or rush forward desperately seeking attention. Jasper did neither. He simply waited, as if he'd been expecting her all along. "Can I hold him?" she whispered. The moment they placed Jasper in her arms, everything shifted. This 7-pound ball of fur pressed his head against her chest, right over her heart, and began purring so loudly that everyone in the shelter could hear it. It was a sound that seemed impossible for such a small creature to make. Deep, rumbling, powerful. Pure contentment. "I've never seen him do that," the worker breathed, genuine shock in her voice. "Not once in 8 months." Right there, standing in that fluorescent-lit shelter with the sound of barking dogs echoing off concrete walls, she made a decision that would transform both of their lives forever. The paperwork took 20 minutes. The drive home felt like 20 seconds. Walking through her front door with Jasper tucked carefully in a carrier, she wondered what he was thinking. Had any cat ever felt this mixture of terror and hope? This was his chance, his final chance, really. At 4 years old, with a shelter history that long, she knew most facilities would have made a different decision about his future by now. She set the carrier down in her living room and opened the door, expecting him to hide for days, like every cat adoption guide warned. That's not what happened. Jasper stepped out slowly, deliberately. He looked left, then right, his tail held high with those distinctive gray and black stripes catching the afternoon light streaming through her window. Then he did something that still makes her emotional to this day. He walked directly to her, sat down at her feet, looked up with those incredible eyes, and meowed. Not a scared meow, not a confused meow. A greeting, a thank you, I'm home kind of meow. The first week brought challenges she hadn't anticipated. Jasper refused to eat. He'd walk to his food bowl, stare at it, then look back at her with an expression she couldn't quite read. Was he waiting for permission? Testing boundaries? Or was something wrong? She tried different foods, premium brands, budget options, wet food, dry food, even plain chicken. Nothing worked. By day 5, panic set in. She called the shelter and they admitted something they hadn't mentioned during adoption. Jasper had only eaten at the shelter when a specific volunteer, an elderly woman named Margaret, hand-fed him. Margaret had passed away 3 months ago. Since then, his eating had been sporadic at best. Her heart broke into 1,000 pieces. This beautiful creature had lost the only person who truly understood him, and now he was afraid to trust again. That evening, she sat on her kitchen floor next to Jasper's bowl. She picked up a small piece of food and held it out to him, her hand trembling slightly. "I'm not Margaret, but I promise you I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." Jasper stared at her for what felt like an eternity. Then, slowly, carefully, he leaned forward and took the food from her fingers. Then another piece. And another. By the time the bowl was empty, tears were streaming down her face. Here's what amazes me about rescue animals. They remember love even after loss. They remember trust even after betrayal. If you've ever experienced that kind of unbreakable connection with an animal, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Drop a comment and share your story because these moments deserve to be celebrated.
3 weeks later, Jasper had completely transformed her home. He claimed the sunny spot by the window as his territory. He discovered that cardboard boxes were the greatest invention in human history. He learned that her laptop keyboard was obviously designed as a cat bed because why else would it be warm and perfectly cat-sized? But the most remarkable change was in how he showed affection. Every morning at 6:47 a.m., exactly, not 6:45, not 6:50, but 6:47, Jasper would jump onto her bed, walk up to her pillow, and gently pat her face with his paw until she opened her eyes. Then he'd press his forehead against hers in what she learned was called a cat kiss, purring that impossible rumble that vibrated through her entire skull. He followed her everywhere. Kitchen, he was there, supervising from the counter. Bathroom, he'd sit outside the door meowing occasional questions to make sure she was okay. Working from home, he'd drape himself across her lap, making typing difficult, but making life infinitely better. Then something unexpected happened that proved their connection went even deeper than she had realized. 4 months after adoption, she got sick. Nothing serious, just a bad flu that left her bedridden for 3 days. Jasper never left her side, not to eat, not to use his litter box, nothing. He lay on her chest, purring constantly, those blue-green eyes watching her with an intensity that felt almost protective. On the second day, when her fever spiked and she felt absolutely miserable, Jasper did something extraordinary. He stood up on her chest, pressed both paws gently against her face, and made a sound she'd never heard before, a soft, melodic trill that rose and fell like a lullaby. He stayed like that for nearly an hour, singing his little cat song, until she finally fell into a peaceful sleep. When she woke up several hours later feeling slightly better, she realized something profound. She hadn't rescued Jasper from that shelter. He'd rescued her from a life she didn't even know was incomplete, from lonely evenings that she had convinced herself were peaceful solitude, from a house that was just a building until he turned it into a home. 6 months have passed since that rainy Thursday. Jasper has gained 3 pounds of healthy weight. His gray and black striped coat shines like polished silver and onyx. He greets her at the door every evening with an enthusiasm that rivals any dog. He's learned 15 different commands, including high five, which he performs with dignified reluctance, as if to say, I know how to do this, but I'm a cat, so do it on my terms. But here's the thing about rescue animals that nobody tells you until you experience it yourself. They never forget that moment when you chose them. Every single day, in 100 tiny ways, they say thank you. A gentle headbutt while you're reading, a soft paw on your hand when you're sad, that impossibly loud purr that starts the moment you walk in the door. She still walks past that shelter sometimes, and every time she does, she thinks about all the other Jaspers sitting in those cages waiting for their person to recognize them, wondering if anyone will ever look past the ordinary and see the extraordinary waiting inside. Because here's what she learned. The most loyal companions aren't the ones who had perfect lives. They're the ones who survived imperfect lives and still chose to love anyway.